Part 4, Love and Perfection Series, Maintaining a Lack of Fear. Whilst ever we are harbouring negatives, there will be fear. Oh yes, dear friends, negatives are a constant value of fear. And how do we remove the negatives? We remove the negatives, dear ones, by recognizing firstly they are fear. Until we receive this understanding, dear hearts, as mentioned in our previous post, we will be subject to fear ad infinitum. This is true. And what is a negative? Once again, dear ones, this is an easy question to answer. A negative is opposite to a positive. And what is a positive? Why, anything that is not a negative is a positive. We shall explain. You, dear heart, are imbued with fear, this being an attribute of the fantasy of man. As such, your every thought is tinged with this energy. When you can recognize this truth, you are on your way to overcoming. This is true, dear one. When you can recognize the truth of fear, you are on your way to overcoming. We repeat ourselves, dear hearts, so as the truth can become embedded within your consciousness. Without this truth, you are subject to the truth of fear, being the number one energy with which you are imbued. Simple is the truth, dear one. Not so simple is the method of overcoming. There are many and varied avenues to take in the reduction and eventual overcoming of fear. Firstly comes recognition. Secondly comes a desire to be without the energy of fear. And thirdly, dear heart, comes repetition. Repetition of your desire to recognize the energy of fear and repetition of your desire to overcome. This may seem a simple remedy, and in truth this is a simple formula for success. However, dear one, to maintain this simple formula will require every ounce of desire you can muster, coupled with a desire that can be maintained until you have broken fear's back, so to speak. Our dearest Carolyn can attest to this simple equation as being her lifesaver. Indeed she can. Yes, this is true. I can report that these days there is very little effort required for me to maintain positive thinking. I even find it difficult to dwell upon the negative. I believe the first port of call for me was objectivity. To explain, the world is full of negatives. It is impossible to be insulated from the negatives and remain cognizant of worldly events without fear causing alarm within the mind. This was the case for me. Therefore, I realized I needed to adopt an attitude that would protect me from the negatives. You, the collective consciousness, the CC, taught me to see the negatives, but remain objective. This was to become a wonderful formula for me. It allowed me to be a part of the world, but not of the negative values within the world. Today I can read a newspaper, listen to the world news without being affected by the negative structures. Are you saying, dearest, that you are free from the effects of the negative aspect of life as a human experiencing? Yes, I believe that is what I am saying. And this took time, dearest? Yes, it absolutely took time and a great deal of work to achieve. Work, dearest? As you've said, it takes a great desire to be without fear, plus a constant monitoring of the inherent capacity for fearful thoughts, in order to prevent oneself from being affected by them. Then, as you've said, there is a tipping point into a new value, so to speak. Once this point has been achieved, comes an almost inability to entertain the negative. It is as though the brain cannot respond. It is changed. And to what is it changed, dearest? It is hard to find the words. Suffice to say, I am not affected by the negative. I see the negative, however, I cannot dwell upon it or entertain it. It is as if it doesn't exist, even though I know it does and that others are affected. I remain untouched, so to speak. We know this is true for you, dearest. Many blessings, dear hearts, many blessings.